One clue to the fascination of the game of pinball lies in a metaphor we have used several times in the previous chapters. That of life and death of the ball. In a very real sense, a player who becomes wrapped up in a pinball game can come to feel that the ball not only takes on a life of its own when on the playfield, but that he shares in that life that is created when he inserts his coin, draws back the plunger, and expels the ball from its womb within the machine. You can't make this shit up. Yes, I swear to God, it does.
I think it started at Monroeville Mall in the 70s. Started going in with my older brother, and we used to play video games and pinball for hours.
I have a pinball addiction. I need to put some in my arm.
And I never thought that I'd be as obsessed with it as I am now.
Well, I played it as a kid, and I've always loved the game. And I had a few games in the game room in the basement, and a few turned into a few more.
I mean, I loved pinball, when I was younger. I'm not as experienced as some of these guys, but I remember, going with my dad to the mall arcade, pumping a couple tokens in, whatever.
Now, I've been playing pinball since I was a kid, and a couple years ago, a friend of mine told me that you can actually own a pinball machine, and he had a whole bunch of machines in his parents' basement at the time, and I was like, wow, that's so cool.
I think I have 65 or 6 at the moment.
I have one currently.
I am down to 13. I've been cutting down.
A lot of collectors like myself sort of focus on a little bit of the more modern games, actually. Modern being 1990s and earlier, because by then the computer memory was such that the rules could be kind of interesting in a game. Instead of just knock these targets down and hit that spinner all day long, there's like a storyline to each game.
I like games that have really deep rule sets, like you have to complete a lot of things or goals to get to a wizard mode.
You're just action, action, action.
It's not like a video game where you can learn how to master it and do the same things over and over again to be successful. The fact that you literally have a different experience every time you play a game, I think, is one of the main reasons why I continue to play, because it's just challenging, it's frustrating, but it's invigorating at the same time.
Pinball was illegal in a lot of parts of the United States for a number of years.
There's still laws on the books today in town that derives from pinball's illegalness.
Pinball was illegal in Chicago, in New York City, and in a lot of other areas.
Mayor LaGuardia in New York had outlawed it for numerous amounts of years.
Because it was considered to be a game of chance, like a gambling device, often run supposedly by organized crime.
And then Roger Sharp, a really nice guy out of Chicago, saved the day with that.
Actually appeared in court with a pinball machine and showed them by calling his shots that it was a game of skill, not a game of chance, and got the laws overturned.
The skill shot that saved pinball, that it was called.
Pinball, a game of skill. You'll see that on a lot of the games still to this day.
And it's really interesting. It's really cool to see how it's grown, because there was a period, in the early 90s, the main manufacturers of pinball machines closed down. So your Bally and your Williams, they tried to merge and create, some more games. For operators, it wasn't really lucrative. You weren't seeing them anymore. I know a lot of the malls at home don't have pinball machines.
So if you have a cherry machine in a bar or something, you have to pay the same permit fees for that you have to pay for a pinball machine in the city of Pittsburgh, where we live. So the laws are still on the books from the pinball prohibition.
Pittsburgh Pinball League is a diverse group of individuals that share a passion for this game.
You get together with people, you have a good time, you joke around, you make fun of each other, you poke fun, you play pinball competitively. Sometimes you take it a little bit too serious.
You're seeing a league that's grown from 20 members 10 seasons ago up to over 100 members, however many people we have now, which seems to be getting out of control almost.
We are in our 19th season now, but there's 3 seasons a year, so about 6 years in its current format. And previously there was some other leagues in the area, but the official Pittsburgh Pinball League 19th season.
I've been in the league, this is my 2nd season, so a little under a year now. I commute every week. I make the drive up from Morgantown, West Virginia. It's about an hour and 15-minute drive. At least once a week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week.
Each season itself has a final. The finals these days are at the Papa facility in Carnegie, which houses about 450 pinball machines. Players are ranked by their score the whole season, by how many points they get each week in gameplay. And the top 16 play in A Division finals. Next 16 are B Division, next 16 C, then D Division. And in there it's bracketed play.
People can go out and have a good time, and there's no vices necessarily associated with it. So there's no downside to it.
It's almost like a party every week, but not really.
Pinball is reaching epic proportions. I think the big expansion came from Papa locating their world headquarters here. Kevin Martin bought a large building down in Scott Township, and which has been donated to the Replay Foundation. And since the World Championships were here, the league was supported a little bit, and the scene has just grown, and people are having a good time with it.
It's really cool to see, especially up here in Pittsburgh, how well they've grown. The opening of the Kickback Pinball Arcade, which is a great place to play. Papa, of course, 500 and some machines. The multiple places on location. We have a couple we're fortunate to have some really hard-working operators here in Pittsburgh too that really keep nice and up-to-date games.
We'll be hosting the largest pinball tournament in the world, right here in Pittsburgh. Sold out 400 positions worldwide at $175 a person in 1 hour and 43 minutes.
But I've met more cool people playing pinball than I have in most of my life.
There's more hours put into a pinball machine than there is to build a Ford Taurus.
Matches the winning car number.
My main goal with pinball is just to learn the games as well as I can, as many different ones as I can. Hey, Joe.
And who doesn't have fun looking at some flashing lights and flipping their flippers?
It's doing the thing that I love to do, playing pinball.